Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3, where I feel like we've finally stabilized in our struggle against Hexawatl and the Khemri, at least for the moment. So of course, all kinds of other trouble had to come to our shores, right? We have Fire on Wavemaker bringing the second verse of the sea shanty and an army of relatively elite elven troops, including not one, but in fact two different dragons. Ugh, this is going to be a nightmare. So what, they have 4 units of... They only have 5 units of, like, real archers. These Hawk Riders are archers, but they're a lot like the deck droppers. They're just kind of not that impressive as units. But these War Dancers and Swordmasters are very, very effective melee units. I am concerned. How much bonus versus infantry do they have? 12? Yeesh. Alright. And 2 dragons. 2 dragons is a problem. Where is... Did we lose an army? Hold on a second. Where is, Yeah, I guess our third army got... It's been a couple of days since I recorded the last one. Did our third army just get completely ganked? I guess so. It's fine. Pete's on it. Oh, that's right. Mad Mulletson caught us in transit. Okay, yeah.
Admiral of the fleet.
Pete, do you have time to turn around and teach this nerd who's boss? Because he's actually... He very much weakened himself doing that. Yeah, I think, I think we have time for this.
Fight.
Coward!
Done.
Get out of here with that. Who wants magical attacks and spell resistance? You do. Alright. Very trivial battle. Just a bunch of badly wounded Norskins. We're basically at full health still, so we'll take the money. And having destroyed those guys, we've unlocked the Salt Lord Scuttlers, a unit of unique deck droppers, which is like pretty whatever. It's not that exciting really as a force.
Misguided.
So that's how far you can move in March mode. I don't want to get caught like just in the sea. I want to be in control of the moment when things touch off here. It's hard to tell though, looking at this, exactly how much of this is full sail movement and how much they would have in the stance where they can initiate combats. So I think what I'm going to do for kind of safety's sake is head this way. We'll move toward Sartosa. Let's see what we get out of that.
Loyal to our fault.
All right, continuing to increase our income.
No prey, no pay.
And then we should have a look at the this unit that we've unlocked. So, where's Aranessa? Alright. Aranessa's army is in position to have a look. So what's the deal with these? Oh, they have Sundering on their attacks. So it's a unit of bombers, specifically. When they hit people, they apply the Sundered Arbor effect, which is significant. And then all regiments of renown are always level 9, which obviously can be very helpful. I'm going to go over here and put the Queen Bess in our camp as well, in our recruitment thing. So, what do we want to do with Aranessa now? Do we go back and try to play defense around Alhaik? Probably, right? Like, the thing is, I want to start recruiting another army right now in Sartosa. But we do also have to have proper defenses at Alhaik. We have to be able to hold off the enemy for a little while. And they're marshaling a pretty significant force overall here. Like, Aranessa needs help holding this back. Oh, but we also want to get the Kofar docks upgraded. That's an extra 200 gold per turn, and obviously the earlier we get it running, the better. This is kind of awkward. Well, this doesn't have to happen this turn. It's more important that we get that army going, I think.
Aranessa salt spite. No straggling.
The question is, if I run Aranessa forward and start threatening like El Calabad and stuff, could we split them up? Could we get them to move apart in ways that we could maybe take advantage of? Or will they all just focus on El Hague? I'm not even going to try to defend Zandri. I don't care about Zandri. I'm not holding Zandri. Zandri is really doing badly on control. I'm going to turn off taxation here. Just buy us a little bit of extra time before this hits negative 100. When it gets to negative 100, a rebellion army will spawn, and I just don't have any interest in dealing with all that right now. We are very busy. So
Fear the pirate queen.
I kind of think I'm going to press forward across the desert here and see if we can't. Yeah, see if we can't split them up. And I can always come up behind them or duck back into the mountains if I have to.
Land ho.
So we'll go around here first.
Fleet captain reporting.
Wendy was headed generally east.
Get going, scum.
Hey, look, it's Prague, held by the disciples of Hashut. Well, that's not going super well for the Kislevites. Yeah, they have Erengrad, and I was like, oh, they're holding Erengrad, and it's all built up. They must be doing pretty well. But they don't own almost any of their normal territory. Something weird has happened up here. And then we, of course, have Len to manage.
This is forbidden.
Still no characters to assassinate in any of these armies, as far as we can see. Oh, there's one. A tomb prince. You're not allowed to have tomb princes. Come on now. All right. Well, it was a good try. I'm sure you gave him a real fright at least. Just max out Len's various map actions here. And then I think the thing to do is just start building up at Sartosa. Yeah. Pretty bummed out. We lost a whole actual admiral there. Who has a good trait? I would like a Lord of the Deep, Lord of the Deep, Vampire Lord, just because I think it's a fun group of spells. Gain loyalty from ambush and lightning strike battles. That's very whatever. What about you guys? Yeah, I mean, none of our options from the Lore of the Deep are all that interesting. An instigator of the Lore of Death. I mean, that's something. I like Instigator. +1 recruit rank for all the troops in the army is cool. That's right. Intrigant is cool, mostly for the ambush success chance bonus. So yeah, maybe we pull you. This one's gonna come in with somewhere between 4 and 9 loyalty, which is nice.
Admiral of the fleet.
All right, still pretty normal raised Deadpool here, but let's grab.
Vampire of the waves. Treasure is there.
Do we want you to be inside the garrison? I'm gonna say no. I don't want sieging the garrison to break recruitment. And let's start bringing in. Yeah, a bunch of heavier recruitments, a bunch of more expensive recruitments. We can also start pulling some like siege gear. A couple units of mortars is good for most armies.
Blood and plunder.
All right. And we're going to, as soon as Pete's on land, we're gonna swap one of his units out for the Queen Bess, because I think we want the Queen Bess to be on this continent for the moment. Hey, can I get a little bit of an assist here, perhaps? Could you maybe do something about Morgur? I know you're at war with him, so just fucking step up. Show me something. We're going to lose Rifrafa for sure for like the 40th. Oh, okay. And then the game is going to silently and immediately crash the desktop. Well, I'm going to fix that and I'll be right back, y'all. Okay, let's try this again. I just did exactly the same things, reloaded from the save, did exactly the same things, except this time I remembered we could also simultaneously be hiring in some storm vermin. And this time I went for the shielded, slightly better defended ones, because I was thinking, you know, up against the elves with the arrows and stuff, it might make a difference. And we just want them to survive for a long time, more than anything else. So let's see if it breaks again. Okay, no, it seems like we're good. Well, of course, the bad news about the Kislevite faction up there being weak is that it means that Erengrad is more likely to get disrupted, and if the buildings in Erengrad get leveled down, say by a conqueror or something, oh, hell yeah, sure, thanks. Then that's going to affect the income from our Pirates Cove in the area, so I'd really love for that not to happen. That army went into march mode and then just disappeared from our view, suggesting that it went southeast, out of our vision range, which is definitely good news for Aranessa and her ability to just sort of run rampant over that entire front. We'll have to have a look at it in detail when it is our turn again. Yep, this is bad news. Bad news for Rifrafa. The worst defended place in the Empire. The thing is, it's in the middle. It's in the middle of that country, and so you would think that it wouldn't get attacked all that often, and yet it's just so many enemies who have the ability to effectively teleport. Alright, my hope is that we can prevent these dragon spine privateers from running around for as long as the last faction got to run around. But they have already... Okay, our ally intends to actually do the thing we asked. That's nice of them. Rifrafa gets burned to the ground. One of your admirals is whining about loyalty.
I have sailed the world.
4 loyalty's not that low. You're fine. Oh, I did not remember to turn off taxation to the cracked land on this after the reload. Okay, well that's fine. We'll figure it out. So we have our first meaningful skill point after grabbing Arcane Conduit. What do we want to do now? This will give you 8 bonus melee attack and the ability to be mostly hidden, which is actually very powerful. Her melee attack's already quite strong, and then, you know, a wizard who doesn't get ganked from long range would be a very powerful thing indeed. Bonus versus infantry and more replenishment rate for the army, or... Okay, hero action chance stuff. Not so useful when you're actually in an army. So I can't believe I'm about to say this, but, like, do we need a more replenishment rate? We might actually be good on that, and I kind of like the idea of Lottie being stealthy, both as a mage and as a cavalry unit. I think Stalk is actually going to be quite valuable.
The Queen of Tides!
So yeah, it seems like most of their units have either gone into ambush mode or have just withdrawn from the front entirely. Now they do have... Do they still have that sandstorm thing up, or is it just... I guess it's just Windy Desert. This is what Windy Desert normally looks like. Well, I guess let's head for El Calabad, and we'll see if they respond.
Come, crew, move.
Okay, no, they're still around. They just don't look like they're around. Oh, interesting. Thermocris.
This is forbidden.
I technically moved. I think I moved myself into range where they could attack me if they wanted to. I guess we'll see what they do with it. Ah, see that tiny little bit of red arrow at the end there indicates that this is not actually within a single turn's movement for us. What do I want to do then?
Where to? Futile.
I mean, obviously we want to be a threat.
Undead raiders.
This turn we have a little bit of money left over. We can afford to like go for stuff like this.
No prey, no pay.
We could have Pete fall back onto land, boot one unit from his army in exchange for the Queen Bess, and then get back in the water. I think I'm going to do that. And it's probably going to be one of these units of... Like, I'm definitely nervous about reducing the can actually fight in melee portion of this army in size, so... Hey, I guess I technically recruited a siege engine. Cool.
The seas are my domain.
All right, and then I want to be not quite in range. So we'll go, yeah, we'll go to like here.
Blood kiss of the seas.
Unwise.
I don't want them to be able to jump me. But I want to be in a place where I can get aggressive with them, obviously. Well,
Time to devour.
I may as well like run around and pick on people. Like we could keep converting money into XP for this hero. Wow, we actually managed to hit that success. All right. Wendy Nut out of nowhere just power bombs this elven agent. That'll show him. Oh, right. The reason that we lost vision was because I moved Len all the way over here to attempt an assassination, which didn't work out. I should probably be more concerned about keeping my eye on what's going on. It's easy to get distracted, though. We don't have the money for that. Actually, we don't have the money to do anything, really. All right, let's see if this is an overcommit. The only way we're actually in danger here is if they march mode Thermocris, or they march mode the one with the big army all the way to the edge of its movement range to serve as reinforcements in a battle that is touched off by one of the smaller forces. But depending on the positioning and the map, that might turn out to be a very dangerous way to engage that battle. And in any case, they might not go for it. So we'll see. And again, we're not fighting to win this war necessarily. What we are doing is just trying to get them to leave us alone. We just need to make fighting us painful enough that they decide they'd rather not. And unfortunately, we don't have a ton of control over that. Like oh, it looks like they're going to go for it. Oh no, they're just defending El Calabad. What was I saying? But yeah, we don't necessarily have a huge amount of control over that. We can do whatever we can do on this front, but a lot of them feeling like we are enough of a problem to get out of the war is going to have to come from other players pressuring them on other sides. Because we know they are very much up for the task of just massing up and fighting us one-on-one. All right, we're gonna fix all this stuff. I swear, we're gonna get our country functional again. But in the meantime, all of the fighting has been really good for us. Now, we do need to have, like, marauded across a certain number of settlements in order to actually hit our campaign goals. And we are pretty far off of that number of settlements now. We've been in the same area for a long time. Wow, right to it, huh? Interesting. Okay, so, first things first. Al-Kalabad plus Kadeskaf. This army is interesting. Huh. So he's really gone thinner on the infantry in favor of a very monster-heavy composition with 3 catapults.
Landfolk are weak.
If I put you in march...
Rumbling.
Yes. Yes, you can get close enough to reinforce. Alright, so we're going to pick up whatever we can pick up from the raised dead pool here. I guess you're going to grab these. And then... rifles. And... what else does this army still need? We actually have a pretty solid melee corps at this point. So really it is like ranged units, I think. So that puts us at 15. That said, monsters are usually pretty okay. Yeah, we'll grab like a unit of monsters. And then we just need 3 more units in total. A couple units of dogs could be useful. And... 1 bloated corpse. Okay.
Swiftly now.
The sea knows.
Get right up to reinforcement range and... let's do it.
Attack.
Ah, you fled. Oh, he fled just far enough. Just far enough to not be in reinforcement range anymore. I'm really frustrated by that. Look at that, like the edge of the circle is right there.
Misguided.
Well, do I want to do just the straight up one army versus one army? His stuff is pretty damaged. He only has 1 siege weapon.
We are aligned.
So we definitely have a long range advantage there. We have a lot of guns with which to shoot down his various dragons and stuff if we can get an angle. It would have been really nice to have the reinforcements come in partway through the battle and just like give us some additional firepower. But we might be able to just handle them.
Seas are my domain.
We have good spell casting. Yeah, I'm just going to go for it.
Strike now.
They would just give us a decent victory here. But I think I want to take this one manually because I want to try not to lose the units of Skaven troops. Man, I'm looking at their like highly elite units here. So these swordmasters are using huge two-handed swords, but they still get the benefits of the small shield because they have the ability to deflect arrows with their greatsword. And arrows includes bullets, I guess. But yeah, we can do this. We can probably keep the Skaven troops alive. It's just the Skaven are a pretty limited resource here, right? So I do want to be cautious with them. They will really do a number on these dragon princes or these dragons should they get close enough. Yeah, I'm very annoyed about not getting my reinforcements, though. It's a shame it took exactly all of our movement. We didn't even have like a tiny bit left to reposition. So dragons are scary, obviously. And I'll tell you, I wish I had some deck droppers on this one. Or not deck droppers, deck gunners on this one. We do have a nice flat terrain here that definitely benefits the gun units. I'm going to play off-center to try to limit... Like, let's be in a position where their bolt throwers don't get to fire as quickly as the rest of our stuff does. And then I'm gonna reposition after the battle begins here. So I guess actually that means we're just putting a lot of the units kind of over here generally, and we'll fix positioning later. We have our gunnery white, of course, on crab back, and Pete Wakefield also on crab back. So worth remembering, Pete Wakefield is a polearm unit, so he has a significant amount of anti-large, 25 points of anti-large, in fact. Melee attack, not so good generally, but pretty solid against dragons and horses and stuff. All right. So the most important thing was getting the positioning right for the cannons. Then I kind of want to just like drag my gun line real long and thin here. We want to get like maximum coverage. And have the ogres actually maybe have the ogres stretched across here and the guns go in front of them. Well, no, the ogres have that ogre charge. So if I'm going to do a melee runs through the range strategy, I probably want to do it with the crabs. And we have the ogres split off at the sides. Okay, and then I'm actually going to keep the storm vermin in reserve for the moment. Their job is to keep the siege units safe. And they move relatively quickly for infantry, so we can correct their positioning if we have to. All right.
On your way! Get going!
So we have our sea shanties. This army does not have the use of Aranessa's massive cannons, obviously. They seem content to just let us pick at them for the moment. Which is, you know, it's all good for us, I guess. Should I roll up the mortars? I wonder if they're always going to dodge perfectly.
Don't stop!
I kind of want to roll up and lay down a Vangeist's Revenge against their entire army. Ah, they're moving their own siege crews forward.
Lead Admiral! Move, you dogs!
That's some pretty good shooting. All right, so how far up do I have to get? The answer is pretty far up before I can do this. Maybe it's not worth it. Yeah, it's probably not worth it. It's just too close. And he's faster than normal on crabback, but he's still too slow, I think, for shenanigans like this. All right, we'll just let the siege crews do their thing. Oh, I guess I should be enchanting my ballistics here. Pretty good shot. In fact, I believe that's one of their actual bolt throwers. I didn't break, though. The shot landed directly on it, but somehow it is still in one piece. All right, ammo back up on the Queen Bess. So these things are more like a ballista, obviously. Well, they're not going to have very many people left to fire the damn things in a second. Okay, that's actually killed the entire operating crew. So what am I most concerned about? Let's focus on their ranged units, I suppose. We can probably have all the different siege weapons firing at different things, but for the moment, lots of focus on those siege crews, or on those ranged units. And a lot comes down to what they choose to do with these dragons, frankly. The more aggressive they are with the dragons, the better, because we can probably cut them down pretty quickly once, you know, battle is actually joined. Okay. These guys are close enough to be targeted. Just start firing. We do not, in fact, need to wait for them to get any closer. That dragon's trying to be sneaky around the side. We're trying to get some sneaky movement on this side, too. You lot just open fire. And I think, actually, given the way they're kind of bringing the units we want to shoot around the sides, we can just step the crabs up now. I don't think there's really much of a reason to wait. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and fold the whole ranged forward here. And our Lord can start looking for opportunities. I mean, we're definitely going to be summoning some extra crabs, but I want to wait for melee combat to get joined probably, and then just summon these on the backside of people. I guess what I want to do right now probably is wait for... What does it do in Overcast? What is the difference? Oh, it's just a longer duration. Okay. Yeah, as soon as the firing starts, we just throw this on one of the units of gunnery mobs and have them hit most of their shots. So, yeah. Sorry, I put that in halftime.
With haste! Get going!
Okay, target change. And that is going to be worth a spiteful shot for sure. All right, get started. I think I'm going to bring the storm vermin up a little bit. I'm not exactly sure what they're planning on doing here, but it feels to me like maybe we're going to want halberds forward. And we continue to fire mortars at their approaching melee. We're hitting some of them, not very much. It's all right. We'll get there. I probably want to wait just a little bit. I want to wait until like the melee start clashing for the shanty, right? Getting good damage here, though.
Fleet Admiral!
All right. Excellent work. Excellent work, friends.
At once!
All right. How far away can I cast this? Not very far. That's kind of what I figured. This we have to move a little bit, but it might be worth it. To like fire it like that. So yeah, Queen Bess focus here. Try to break the ranged off of this front and then do magic about it on this front. All right, they're breaking already. Let's grab all of these units and refocus them on the dragon, because the dragon's about to become a problem. That's a feeling I have. Their prince has landed and is engaging. Is this the time to fire the sea shanty, I wonder? Let's go ahead. It has a 30-second duration. We'll get lots of play out of it. You should probably start shooting that prince, though. If you can hit him from there. So he's on the back of a large unit. So it's going to be easier to shoot him than normal. Maybe head over to here and do it. Let's try to open up that angle as much as possible. There we go. Alright, lots of good gunfire on the dragon. Is it time to focus on the dragon over here too? Yep, those dragon princes are pretty much gone. You and you and you. All in on the dragon, who is about to shoot you with some dragon breath, I think. Okay, he's currently casting. I was a little worried because he's showing sleep, like he doesn't think he has orders. It does not look like the storm vermin are going to be needed to hold off a cavalry charge, because their cavalry on this side is completely dead. On this side, what are they doing? Are they riding through or are they riding toward? Okay, they're riding toward. Alright, Skaven absorb a little bit of fire. Ooh, look at the damage from the spell. That's fucking fantastic. Alright, so the ogres are going to absorb the depth of this charge. Those Hawk Riders are not permanently broken, but it's probably good enough. Pete Wakefield can maybe hold his own against some Ezrai Spear Dancers. He might need some help. But fortunately, this side's pretty much done. So let's get some ogres into some firing positions. These ogres are going to stay for a minute and help fight the dragon princes. So then the question is, what do these gunners do? Let's reposition to here. Yeah, and we can try to fire just kind of into the general flanks of stuff on this side. Over here, things are a little bit more complicated. I'm going to have to break up this. This is awkward. So the storm vermin are coming in, but there's this unit of rifles that's kind of like underfoot that needs to probably reposition. Yeah, stay focused on the forest dragon for the moment. Definitely buffs up. Not quite in range to do that. And I think we probably have to refocus. Like, you gotta... Their prince is actually losing quite badly. But we gotta deal with... This side is threatening to collapse at any moment. And y'all... Yeah. Charge these sword masters, I guess. The problem is I don't want them to provide cover. Actually, you know what? Maybe I should have these crabs relocate. It looks like we're going to lose this unit. And I might need these ones to countercharge and hold this side up. Ugh, okay. How big is the area for this? I can barely see the edges of the circle. So it's minus a bunch of melee attack, minus a bunch of leadership. And if we overcast it, we can make it even more minus melee attack. Yeah, let's dump it like here, I guess. Throw a big fog over top, and then right after we do that, we're summoning denizens of the deep. All right. The fog effect is barely visible.
Take it all!
Alright, what I want from these ogres is specifically to finish off the Sea Guard. Those guys are kind of just getting to do whatever they want, huh? I really thought the Skaven were going to hold them in place at least a little bit. Pete is taking way too much damage here. I mean, I guess these are spear enemies. Hold on, we got to get the crab summon off. Okay, Pete's got to bounce. I need help. So go melee mode and charge here. Pete, you can't even hit anything meaningful with this. You just got to get out of there, buddy. Okay, we did manage to gun down the dragon. They landed their Hawk Riders to go into melee with the man-eaters. I don't think this is a good idea at all. 34 attack, 27 defense. No, they're going to get shredded. This is a terrible play. All right, you stay up there. The man-eaters are going to... Okay, so we're going to win this front, like, hugely. Gunnery White back to shooting their prince in the face. And actually, this would be a good time for some grenades, I think. They have a lot of units kind of grouped up here. So all the guns on this side. Burn those Hawk Riders down as fast as you can. The Storm Vermin are handling this. Yeah, I think we kind of won both sides of this fight. And now it's just a matter of collapsing through the middle. Crab units are looking a little rough. Actually, you know what? Crab units, go charge their ranged.
Fleet Admiral!
Alright. Withdrawing Pete is working. The crabs are very heavily armored. They're super, super tough.
Man-eaters! All right.
Okay. You did a good enough job to let Pete escape. I think we're going melee mode charges with the ogres.
Tribe on the move! Come!
Swords out, friends. Okay, a lot of their units are breaking and running. The Lord is breaking and running. There we go. We did end up losing one unit of crabs, but I'd much rather lose a unit of crabs than lose a unit of Skaven. Because again, the Skaven are harder to replace. Also, the crab unit is undead, and there's a non-zero chance of getting a the dead rise and just getting them back. But I feel very good about that outcome. That's a clean victory. And you can see, even against relatively elite enemy units, and often against specifically anti-large enemy units, those Prometheans can stand up to a lot of fire. They can stand up to melee combat for a long time, and on top of it, they have the shotgunners on their back, just like letting loose the whole time. They're actually remarkably good as just kind of like heavy infantry units. I think they do the job a lot better than the Depth Guard do. The Depth Guard are much more for like sneaking up behind somebody and then draining them quickly. So if we can catch the other side of this army, their other little like phylactery force, then we can eliminate the threat in the middle of our territory, in the water part of our territory. We already killed Mad Mulletson. We do not get our crabs back. That's a shame. But we do get an awful lot of money from ransoming the captives. And we get the second portion of the sea shanty. Ooh, we stole the Book of Ashore. Wings of Magic Power Reserve change plus 25% when increasing. So that means we'll generate spellcasting resource even faster. And we've got the improved version of the Lost Sea Shanty.
Admiral of the fleet.
Okay, I'm feeling fucking great about that outcome. That is wonderful. What do we want now that you have Pyromaniac? Probably Blunderbuss, probably eliminating the range penalty on Blunderbuss makes sense.
Darkness.
And Pete's actually got the movement to just chase these things down right now. Gosh, it's good to have fast armies.
The dead will fight. Their value lies outside of the ring.
Okay. Dragon Spine Privateers dealt with.
Full speed ahead.
Let's head to Sartosa.
Land ahoy!
We'll get up on land via Sartosa, and we'll figure things out from there.
Admiral of the fleet.
And Henrietta will get more movement next turn. We can worry about that later. So now we have the question of what to do with our NS Assault Spite. Their armies have scattered.
This is forbidden.
I'm really unsure whether I think we can take King Kadeskaf. What's El Calabed's garrison? That's like very normal. Has a couple units of Nehekaran warriors, no Tomb Guard, and just some basic skeletons.
A done deal.
If I cut to normal movement, okay, I cannot quite reach the Black Tower of Archon.
This is forbidden.
I don't know. Go bust something up. Break this. Just for the hell of it, basically. Because if we could win this fight, I think it would be really good for us to do it. That would mean they don't have any whole armies in the area, and we could do a lot of menacing. We want to try to catch this army out of position.
Do not betray.
But that is a lot of like very elite monster infantry units. They have enough chariots to be annoying. And they might just have too many monsters. Like, you saw our strategy, our like focus fire strategy is totally sufficient to bring down 2 dragons or whatever. But this is 36 Ushabti with another 27 Ushabti standing back and just fighting us at siege range. And also they have 3 catapults. I am not confident that we win this battle. So maybe what we do instead
I forbid this.
is we just break and run north.
Going.
I am much faster than you.
My servant
Yeah,
fails
pretty
me.
considerably faster than you.
Fear the pirate queen.
Because I can call for reinforcements, right? I can just back off, get Henrietta, trust Pete to deal with Morgar himself.
Another victory.
Although Morgar's army has gone invisible, which beastmen often do.
Fleet captain reporting. Get going, scum.
All right, how do the Chaos Dwarves feel about us? Strong aversion. They have no particular reason to like us, and they really just kind of generally don't like zombies. Fair enough, I suppose. All right, so now what are we doing? Did I build this? I don't feel like I built this. This feels like something that was already here. Yeah, where do we want to pursue upgrades? I guess Getting the docks improved at Al Haik gives us some stuff to work with. Gives us another 200 extra gold per turn, which is obviously very meaningful. Yeah, alright. What do we want now? Spell of the Necromancer's Apprentice just gives us 20% ward save to a unit. I mean, that's certainly not bad. Raise dead cost down, corruption up is like not necessary, I feel like. I think we got that under control. We've got a lot of like the very obviously great stuff. The Powder Monkey gives one army 15% bonus missile damage for all of its gunners. It's not horrible. Tiny missile strength boost for all of our non-cannon units. You know, it'll add up. Over the course of that many guns firing. This is the only thing I really want in Vulture Mountain. I guess the Caliph's Palace we could just make a plunder pile. Yeah, that's sensible. Can never have enough income buildings. Alright, so the second of 3 pieces of the Lost Sea Shanty have been acquired. This is an important overall objective. And we're generating infamy like crazy. We are doing some excellent fighting and murdering here. But we do need to do it over a larger swath of the planet. The war with Eataine is going to get us an awful lot of opportunities to sack, raise, or plunder new places. And we're getting deeper into Khemri territory than we were before. That helps as well. Alright, what are you going to do? Are you just going to fall back to... Huh. No, you're going to run into the middle of the desert. Why do that? It's a curious play, to be sure. I guess it keeps his 3 armies sort of like webbed together. Okay, Morgur is doing his stupid stealth Skaven thing, which is annoying more than anything. Oh, Marienburg getting attacked and conquered is bad news for us. Any settlement we have a cove in, we don't really want to change hands, because every time a settlement is defeated in a siege battle and changes hands, the main settlement building gets downgraded, which then also downgrades all of the buildings in the settlement that were at or above the old max level.
The tides!
Or that were at the old max level, you know, obviously. They couldn't have been above it.
About time.
Alright, let's put you into
Order it.
normal movement mode. Get you into Sartosa.
Of the fleet.
Actually, get you just in front of Sartosa.
There be treasure.
I'm assuming that we're not going to get any... Yeah, we're not going to get any good units in the raised dead pool. I mean, do I just hang out for 2 turns and hire new crabs? Maybe. Army composition is effective. The thing is, I don't really want to be stationary for that long if I don't have to be. Because I would really like to get on with the murdering. It doesn't cost us really anything to recruit for 1 turn, because we can't move much further here anyway. What about A little bit of temporary allied recruitment. I don't know. Allegiance is a precious enough resource that you probably don't want to recruit a unit that you don't intend to keep. But we could just throw an extra ranged unit on here or something for the moment. You know what? Let's just do it right. There is limited havoc that Beastman army can wreak at this point.
Admiral of the fleet. Lend ahoy!
Gonna have Aranessa and Henrietta hook up down
Sail the
here.
world.
And then march forth together to fuck some shit up.
Sea dog.
And that leaves us with a little bit of money. I mean, we can make a money-making structure here, too. And probably should. Koford needs for its next building slot to be its garrison. But Fyrus could also put a money-making building together. So how long until we're allowed to cast the plunder thing again? 2 more turns. Plus 500 gold for every building from the buried treasure chain. Which is this chain. You can see this is a buried treasure building. Do these ones count? No, only the big ones in the big settlements count.
I second it. All right.
So there's got to be water in Cathay, right? Maybe set up some coves over in Cathay. What is this? Oh, this is one of those, yeah, there are these places where you can... Interesting. Vampire Coast are skilled navigators, and so when we use the sea lane journey thing, we get faster travel. That's cool. But yeah, you can use these to basically, like, teleport around the map. More or less. You tried to assassinate me. I do not have the money to return the favor. We'll just kind of park over here for Vision's purposes. And I think we can end the turn. Alright, so we have this third army. It's kind of weak. It's definitely a much less effective army overall than the 2 that we're already running. However, that can actually be a huge asset. You can use an army that appears weaker, an army that's going to show up worse on the auto-resolve results, as bait for the AI, and they will just run toward it in a lot of cases. What are y'all doing? And there's a lot of ways to take advantage of that. Have your army waiting out of the way, but in the place where your weaker army will run to if you hit retreat. You can, if you're a faction that's actually good at this, have your stronger army just waiting in ambush mode nearby. Unfortunately, we're bad enough at ambushes that I suspect that generally won't work. Morgar's getting in the water. Oh, I don't think that's smart. The elves are trying to drive all the Skaven out. It looks like all of Athaloran has been united under the banner of just one elven nation. It's not great news for us because it means, first of all, one of their primary distractions has disappeared, and secondly, that faction's actually going to get powerful and potentially be a problem for us. Wait, that army's in ambush mode? Aren't they on boats? Oh no, they're not. They're just barely... No, that's totally, yeah. That's totally a naval army. Their boat is some kind of huge sea creature with just stuff tied to its back. And we can see now the full extent of this force, and actually it's not very impressive. A lot of Ungor here. 21 attack, 23 defense, no armor to speak of, not very good health. They have some gore. They have a couple units of reasonable infantry. And then they have their sort of like cavalcade of beasts. Chaos Spawn and Minotaurs as big, hard-hitting, monstrous infantry. Chaos Spawn are particularly dangerous because they have a lot of armor-piercing damage and relatively high melee attack, and they're unbreakable, which means they never suffer leadership losses, and they will fight until the bitter end. And that kind of combat can be very draining for mortal troops. They got a bunch of big angry boars. They have, of course, a giant. Thing to be concerned about. Centaurs, which are centaurs, obviously. Yeah. Can we take them? Oh, almost certainly. I think that the...
Scales and salt.
You're outside of my normal movement
We're
range, right?
shipshape.
Yeah. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is step over to here. I'm going to be inside the city's range.
They'll take the
I'm going
bait.
to put Aranessa's army in ambush
Landfolk
mode.
are weak.
I might do the same thing with Henrietta. What I want is for Morgur to sail a little further south without realizing how close we are to our ports. And then basically like Pete can hit him from the north and someone else could come up and reinforce. And we can be done with this real fast. Unfortunately, to be permanently done with it, we're going to have to get rid of their, what do you call it, their herdstone situation over here at Montanus. Which is probably what Pete is going to be doing next. But we can set up for this at least. You can try to remove an enemy unit. Fail to do so. No big surprise. Gosh, that's expensive for only a $50 increase in income generated. Do we have a money-making building in... Okay, we do. Well... At some point, I need to finish advancing Miragliano. We've just never had the money. And we're always rebuilding everything else around here. I mean, let's get this started. We definitely want Kofor to have proper defense, right? It's a shame that the Kofor Harbor doesn't have any garrison effect. It'd be really useful. All right.
Me water.
Let's see who falls for what.
We should act now. We'll intercept.
Henrietta has that slightly better ambush chance. Oh, I had a fractional order left on Wendy. That's annoying. So in a case like what we're seeing in the Khemri area, even if it is the more powerful army whose garrison or whose ambush chance fails, it still might work the way we want because they have enough troops gathered up between all their forces that they can probably, at least they believe, they can probably take that stronger army. I'm actually unsure as to whether they would be successful at that or not. It would be a bad time to lose the front, you know, so I've been being perhaps a little overly cautious. Okay, it looks like the Skaven are headed for, or at least they have one army that's headed for the Beastmen's home territory. Oh, this is interesting.
Avast and draw your blade.
Are you going to take it? Okay, that might have been a huge error on their part. Because we probably can ride over our 40 troops and just crush them. Wurzug, the Great Green Prophet. So this is one of the orc factions here. They want a non-aggression pact, and they'd give us 1,000 gold for it. Let me have a look at something here. Wow. You'll pay more than that. I was gonna see about a trade agreement, but maybe they don't trade. They might not have any trade goods or the capability to understand how trading works. But yeah, I'll take this. One thing that I think is very lucky for us is that the ogres have never really pursued hostilities. There's been this ogre nation on our eastern border for basically the entire game, and they're kind of just ignoring us. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they have always had other problems. Ugh, the Skaven are overcommitting in the forest and getting their units killed. Seems like a terrible waste. Those units could be helping me. Okay. For real, I swear, we're gonna attack Mortar. It's gonna happen. Yeah, Sandry has fallen temporarily. Oh no. Len Amstrel was assassinated. Like dead? I think he might be actually permanently dead. Yeah, that was a critical success. Real assassination. Well, that's harsh. Dark magic gathers in the ancestral homelands of the vampires. The end is nigh. Signs of life are disappearing without trace to the curse of the undeath. That's good for us generally. I don't know what it means mechanically, but in theory, we love the curse of undeath. It's our favorite thing. All right, I think I probably need to stop there for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. I think that the struggle in our home territory has basically turned completely. We are on the precipice now of being able to push out and conquer brave new lands, and I am just so excited because let me tell you something. Our number of raised or occupied or conquered settlements right now is very low. It's very, very low. It needs to go up a lot. So when you come back next time, we're driving that number up, and we'll see you then.